Okay.
We're at 10 now, and I think that would just barely squeak us by if we did it in person. But welcome everybody to our virtual PRA meeting. I'm Anthony, KE70SN. We'll go down the list. We have Drew. Maybe.
Tyler, W7DD.
Ted.
I'm W7RTM, Club Secretary.
Olin.
Phil.
WA7YXY, member.
Paul.
KJ7BFQ from Roseburg.
Andy.
W7AAU, Club Treasurer.
And Benton.
Hey, good evening. November X-Ray 7 Oscar here, Tigard, Oregon.
Had Tyler came in, so Mike.
Yeah, W7RIS. I'm not sure what kind of position I have. I guess I have a board position, but anyway, I really enjoy this club. It's a cool club.
And Matt.
Matt, KF7DVN in SIO.
All right, welcome everybody. So I believe first up we would have Ted with the Secretary's report.
Okay, Friday I finished writing the minutes and sent them out. Was there anybody that had any issues with the minutes or did everybody get to see them? And if there's any updates, deletions, or modifications, let me know. And other than that, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? We're missing Jim, so motion passes. Next up, we have Andy with the Treasurer's report.
On July 17, our balances were in our OSU checking account, $1,285.70. And our savings account had $980.61. So our total OSU bank account is $2,266.31. We had a balance in our PayPal account of $69, and we've got cash on hand $55.45. Our total assets are $2,390.76. Since then, we've had two other people pay their dues. And that is all.
All right. So repeater updates. So Walker Mountain got new antennas. Hoodoo is still down. And then they have installed, if I get back to the Mount Ashland repeater is a 440, and the Onion Mountain is also a 440. Just added to the system. So Mount Ashland covers better, kind of a fill-in around the Soda Mountain at the California-Oregon border, and then Onion Mountain is West Grants Pass into Hellgate Canyon on the Rogue River. And as always, check w7pra.com for anything new and exciting on the repeater system, because everything is changing all the time. So, old business. So I do have 3 video clips from the last 2 meetings. So I've been so for the last meeting where we had both the meeting and the presentation recorded, I have those 2 videos split and uploaded to YouTube, as well as the May presentation. Surprisingly, it takes a lot longer for me to, or for YouTube to actually process the videos and get them ready than it does for me to upload them now. So I'll be sending out a link. I tried to do that earlier, and with not everybody on the Google group, Gmail was not happy about trying to send out another email to everybody on the email list. So I'll get that or those links sent out shortly, possibly with tonight's videos as well. And then trying to think if there was anything other than that one kind of big event that we had, should have had a couple weeks ago. I think that's it. So field day. I went out south of Sister, set up an antenna that went up in a few minutes, and could hear pretty much northern Washington and middle to southern California. Not entirely sure why that was. I've been meaning to do a little bit more experimentation with the antenna and find out what makes it tick more. But got to at least get outside. I know, Bill, you were up at Walton Lake and you got some snow when the rain started coming on Sunday morning. Oh, wait, that's right. Bill's not here. So yeah, Bill. So Bill went out to Walton Lake and sounded like he had a pretty good time. And so we did get some rain showers that came in Sunday morning on the east sides of the Cascades. That actually forced me to bug out a little early because the dirt road I was down was getting ready to turn into a muddy mess. And my cohort for the expedition was driving a Miata, and which is not exactly the most go play in the woodsy vehicle one can choose. So we bugged out and retreated into paved roads. But I know Bill got some snow. How'd everybody else's field day go?
Well, I operated from home. I only got 13 contacts. I didn't have much luck. The bands were not cooperating. I had some antenna problems that I was trying a new long wire antenna for whatever reason. It just wasn't tuned, so I abandoned that and went back to the mobile whips. I made all my contacts on 20 meters, but it was fun. So I missed the barbecue and the hamburgers and hot dogs, all of that.
Drew, did you do any field daying?
Yep. No audio from Drew. I hear it. I see a mouth moving, but nothing's coming out of it.
Can you hear me now?
Barely. You're just barely in there.
Just talk
Drew,
loudly.
Yep. Drew, did you do any field day stuff? Okay, I heard the marbles rattling there. Okay.
There we go. For some reason, my system dropped my volume.
Beautiful.
But no, I didn't get to do any field day this year.
Ted, how was your field day?
Actually, my field day I thought was fairly contact roughly. I did not achieve my goal, was to compare two antennas, the hex beam versus the crank IR. But anything 20 meters and above 20 meters was like pulling teeth for me. I couldn't, it was hours before I could make I think about 13 contacts. And then I went to 40 meters and I was having a good time. It was time, but I wasn't able, there's no 40 meters on the hex beam, so I wasn't able to compare. But I had a good time. I didn't work late and I didn't work the next day. I brought my generator out and was having a good, and it worked well. Sent pictures and proof that I was a 1E. So that's all I got.
All right. Paul, how was your field day?
It was pretty good. Our club went to a park in Winston. We had 5 stations set up. I ran off solar. I couldn't get my long wire to run on 40 meters, so I was pretty much locked into 20 meters. And I didn't get a lot of contacts, but I had several East Coast, Southern California, Canada. Had a good time. I did smoke chicken wings for the potluck afterwards, and everybody was happy.
Excellent. Benton, how was your field day? You're not. Tyler.
Didn't participate.
Mike.
You guys are going to hate me. So this was the first time ever on a field day I got to operate from home with known equipment. I said fooey with it as far as a generator. I just wanted to see what I could do out there as far as making contacts. I think I had a couple contacts on 10 meters, a couple on 15, a whole pile of contacts on 20. 40 meters was my bread and butter band. I made a ton of contacts there. And in the evening time, had a lot of fun up on 80 meters. It was 80 meters, even though it was close in. It was like shooting ducks. It was just, I mean, I think I got through there and worked about 15 guys in a half an hour, left it, went back to 40 for a while, came back after another hour and a half, worked another 15 or so people on 80. So it was easy pickings. One of the things that I found is that 20 meters for the first half of the day or first 2/3 of the day was pretty much all short, West Coast and Canada. I have never, ever worked so many Canadians on field day than this past one. A ton of Canadian. I think I worked every province there was out there in Canada. In the evening time, as the sun started going down in the east, New England states jumped up, worked a whole bunch of those guys. Actually, worked my way back through the central part of the states up through New England. The area that really didn't pay dividends was Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana. But surprising, Kentucky and Virginia, all of those states through there, I had no problems in picking up those guys. So it was really nice to work with my equipment and be a big gun out there and go after anything I heard I could talk to. And there was very, very little DX out there. In other words, there's a couple Italian stations and Spanish stations, and most everybody just stayed away from those guys. But generally at that time of the day, You start picking up in the evening, on into the evening, you pick up a bunch of EU stations, and it just didn't happen there. And of course, Alaska and Hawaii was, easy pickings too for me. So I have to say that I had a very prosperous time on field day. It was all worked together, no equipment failures, didn't burn up any balance, didn't screw up any coax. All my equipment stayed together, rotator worked flawlessly, and it was like shooting chickens in a barrel of water. Really easy. Had a lot of fun. That was about it. Sorry guys if I have to gloat about it, but it was a lot of fun.
All right. Yeah. Next time, note to self: bring out the big generator and the legal limit amp and the 90-foot tower, and see if we can compete with Mike. Matt, how was your field day?
We did pretty good. It was a pretty relaxed field day this year. We took some of the lessons from 7QP as far as what was working as far as the radios and antennas and that sort of thing. So everything kind of worked as expected, which was nice. We didn't bother with the generator this year. We just hooked into commercial power and went with the idea of getting on the air quicker. We were on there for a couple hours and then off for a couple hours, and we didn't really work it super competitive, but I think we had 80, 40, 20. I had a 10-meter station that I almost had on the East Coast, and he had my call sign, but when I came back, he disappeared. So that was a little bummer, but that's how 10 is sometimes. But yeah, we had fun, and that was what it was all about for us this year, was just to have some fun, play a little radio, and do our thing.
Very nice. Larry, thanks for joining the meeting. How was your field day?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I was just at my home location, and I had kind of two kind of setups. The one main station, I ran made a few SSB contacts with that on 20 meters, and then I had a little QRP set up down in the garage. You shared the same antenna that I had, and then I was playing around with FT8 and FT4, and actually made quite a few contacts. Again, mainly kind of the West Coast and stuff. Although one interesting one is I did make an FT4 contact with a station in New Zealand, which I thought was pretty cool. And I also made a few FT4 contacts on 6 meters. There was some activity out there, and those coast just kind of local around there. But that's kind of, I just kind of played on and off with that. I did not have real good luck talking to people on SSB for some reason. A few stations heard me a lot. I could hear a lot of stations, but they just didn't want to hear me for some reason.
Yeah, that's sideband. Like the stuff I heard on sideband was clear, but again, the areas that I was hearing it from were kind of localized. So I'm right now chalking that up to antenna configuration mishaps, but I'm gonna play more. And just the friendly PSA reminder that since a lot of us use this like 7QP and field day as our opportunities to exercise our generators, that not a bad idea to at least check them out and make sure that they're not gummed up, and give them a little, give them an exercise to loosen them up and knock the cobwebs out. So did anybody else have anything besides field day that was going on in the last month or so?
Does anybody else try the 13 Colonies event over the 4th of July? I was able to get 6 out of the 13 stations, but that's the best I could do. Several of our people around here got between 5 and 7.
Well, I gave a stab at it this year, but I didn't have any luck. I could hardly hear anybody on there. I couldn't even get W9 IMS. I wanted to get the first QSL from the first 2 Motor Speedway events, but I couldn't get through to them. So I had a clean sweep last year on the 13 colonies, so I guess they swept me out this year.
I got Kilo 2 Juliet. I don't remember which one it was.
But send it in. It only takes 1 contact and your money to get a certificate, and they actually send out a pretty nice certificate.
Rather than field day, I did a soda activation. Second time, Sisai Butte, about 50 miles east of Estacada, was activated. Roland Simmons and I took a hike that was more strenuous than I was expecting, and, but we succeeded. 1 contact though, 1 contact on VHF. It was a nasty day out. The rain was going horizontal while we were at the summit, and it stopped being fun about that time. That's my story.
Unfortunately, you need 4 contacts to make a legal claim for activating the peak. But anyway, good to see you're getting out and enjoying the outdoors, even though it's a foul weather.
I did the IARU contest. I had fun with that. I got a lot more contacts than I did on field day.
And what was that event? What's the objective of that event?
Oh, well, the International Amateur Radio Union has a yearly HF championship contest. And it usually coincides with the same time that they have, you know, the station set up with the teams. I don't think they had the teams this year, and so the idea is to contact the IAU stations, and there's quite a few of them this year. They had a lot more of the member nation stations on the air than I've ever seen. They were just tons of them on there, and they stayed on for most of the duration of the 24 hours of the contest. And I did pretty well. I got about 3 of the member stations. Then there's also members of the, whatever they call them, councils or committees, and they have a special designator. So they count points as well. So I did okay. But I got most of my contacts on 20 again, and I got 7 contacts on 40. And that was the extent of it, but I enjoyed doing it. My furthest contact was Guatemala. Well, and I got Brazil too. I guess that's further. It's the first time I've talked to Brazil in a long time. And a couple of Canadians, managed to knock off Hawaii, which wasn't coming in really great. And picked up a Aussie and a New Zealander. So that was about it. But it was fun. So that's a good little contest. It's the last of what they call the contest season, the last contest, until we start over again next fall.
All right. So new business. So just a quick update on returning to Tommy's. So Andy did some scouting. They're open and they are willing to have groups back. But again, under the current regs, the cap is 10 people. So for at least the foreseeable future, Zoom it is. So again, hopefully the medical professionals that are working hard to come out with some sort of effective mitigation do so quickly, and we'll be able to get back to it. But looks like at this rate, probably not until some effective vaccine or really nice treatment comes out. Any other new business and or upcoming events that think I saw something from the ARL the other day that I was looking at. I just don't remember where. Oh, here it is. So Saturday and Sunday, August 8th and 9th, will be the QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo 2020. Something about 70 plus speakers, and those that register by July 24th will be eligible for early bird prize incentives. Looks like 1,500 Zulu on Saturday and Sunday. Keynote by Dr. Scott Wright.
What's it called?
The QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo. Looks like it is free to attend, and looks like there's some sort of exhibition and exhibitors. So interesting to check out. I know I did, didn't actually do a whole lot with it, but last week for work, there was one of the big trade shows went virtual, and they had a really neat setup with the being able to actually do the all the breakout sessions and the keynotes, and actually have virtual exhibitor booths, and it was kind of a neat setup. I just didn't actually get to really do anything with it because we had other stuff that we had to get done. And it was all about how to find the new plant varieties, and not anything about how to keep track of them, or any of the tech side that I do. So that looks like that's going to be interesting. Any other upcoming events and or neat radio resources or neat stuff that's come up or coming up?
I got one comment. The weekend before last, this is kind of dealing with the virtual stuff. I think we're stuck with this for a while, and so I think we all need to, kind of promote it, recognize it. I think this is a great way of getting everybody together, even though, we can't all get in one place at one time. But the weekend before last, I think some of us that have lived in Oregon long enough know about the Oregon Country Fair down in Veneta. But they did the country fair this year virtually. And it was really done well, quite well. Lots of cool stuff. So I think as we continue to get into this, we need to be a little bit more creative and think about ways that we can do more of this kind of stuff virtually. I mean, even to the point where it'd be nice, maybe as a topic, we might want to do a little virtual walkabout in some of the guys' ham shack to see what we have for equipment, what we have for antennas, how things are put together. I think that might be a cool idea just for a quickie, maybe I'd do a 10-minute tour of someone's ham shack.
Yeah, I know. So the last weekend would have been the 27th running of the Corvallis Grand Connect Challenge. So we went virtual in a couple of different ways. The big event in California did a big like actual like challenges and stuff that they did online, and people posted videos for that, and they had a kind of a live hosted uh, show where they showed all the videos and had commentary, and we went a little bit smaller and ended up doing a what do you call it? Just ask people to submit videos of kind of their favorite thoughts and memories of the sculpture race, which was kind of neat. And then while we were doing that, we were approached by one of the normal participants who was using a platform called Remo, which I hadn't heard of until recently, which is a virtual like conference platform, which was kind of neat because it actually so instead of having like a Zoom call where you can have 40 to 100 or however many people on at the same time, it allows up to I think 500 people on the same conference, but they break you into tables of I think 6 people at a time, and so you can actually have smaller groups. And so we normally have us like our Saturday night of the event is usually a big dinner where everybody gets together and moves around and just chats with everybody. So we virtualized that on Remo, and that was a neat thing because we were at least able to get to chat with people and again the conversations with 4 or 5 people at a time instead of 30. So that was pretty cool, and getting to do that. So there's definitely a lot of new. Well, again, this is not necessarily a new platform. It's just a lot of stuff coming to light now of how to kind of not necessarily make up for everything that we're missing, but new and inventive ways of trying to get some of it back, and stuff that would be interesting to add to the repertoire. I know we especially there are some guys that I know that I've heard all sorts of legends about some of these ham shacks and never gotten to see one, and even without COVID, it'd be neat to take a camera around and show off what the stations look like. So yeah, I think that's definitely something to consider. I think we'll have to nominate Mike for the do a
Initial
little
video.
recording. Yeah, show off your station, your antennas, and make everybody else drool.
Well, and the other great thing about this idea is different people get different ideas for their shacks. So
yeah,
how you handle things would be nice to see, the interfaces and all. Yeah.
Well, the Willamette Valley DX Club, we've been having our meetings on Zoom, and we've had shack tours and antenna tours so far. It works out pretty nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep, and if anybody, so yeah, again, like I said earlier, so I set up, so I've got the 3 YouTube videos up, and I'll get links out to those here on the list shortly. But I did set up a Peak Radio Association YouTube channel for that. So if anybody is interested in contributing videos to there and willing to put their tours online or whatever, let me know, and we can definitely put that up for all to see. Actually, it looks like the video for the June business meeting already has 2 views, which I'm really surprised because I don't think those emails actually got out to anybody. So yeah, they're out there. Yeah, anything else for the good of the order?
Well, coming up in August is International Lighthouse on the Air. I don't have the date, but it's like the first weekend in August. And there's 2 events by the competing lighthouse organizations. I guess they're going to try and have some lighthouses activated. On the 17th, let me see here. Yeah, 17th through the 23rd of August, W9 IMS International Motor Speedway will be on the air for the last event of the big 3 IndyCar races. They always give out a really nice QSL card, so it's worth getting it if you're interested in that sort of thing. And then Route 66 on the air is coming up in September the 7th through the, it looks like the 15th. And so there'll be 21 stations, I guess, along the route at various spots. And I have never gotten a clean sweep on that, but I always enjoy doing it. So I think the most stations I've gotten is 15. So they start at the beginning in Santa Monica all the way to Chicago. So that's what I know about as far as on the air events.
All right. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order? I guess I got one more thing before we break for the presentation. So on Thursday nights at 7 p.m., we have started a net for the Oregon Disaster Medical Team on the PRA system. It's a more formal net than most everything else on the PRA. And it also goes much faster. So unlike the kind of check in and rag chew for however long and then move on to the next guy, it's more. I mean, basically, I took the Benton County Aries net script and changed the names. So it's a check in and pass traffic if there's traffic to pass net. Typically goes pretty quick. And if anybody's looking to test out radios or check in, Thursdays at 7. And with that, unless there's any questions, I think we'll turn it over to Mike for our presentation.